Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wristwatch Wednesday. I almost spilled my coffee everywhere. We got a new one today, and this is another one from Matt, a viewer contribution. This is a Bulova Marine Star, nice dive watch, all silver, black dial. Let's see, we get this, the bezel does rotate. Looks like it's got a little scratches on the crystal. I think we can buff that out. It's a 100-meter water resistance, so it is a nice dive watch. Let's see what we got on the crown here. I don't think that's a screw down. Nope, that's just a pull out crown. And it does have a screw down back. We'll get to that in a second. I'll get you the model numbers on this, but beautiful dial. Non-numeric hour markers, silver second hand with a white tip. Looks like these hour markers in the second hand and the actual hour and minute hands will glow. Has a date function. Has your seconds marker around the outside of the dial also. Beautiful watch, nice check pattern in the dial from a gray to black perspective. Let's flip it over real quick. Here's our screw down back, and I already started loosening it off camera. I use my little spanner wrench here, cheap one. I'll put a link to some of these tools down in the description if you're interested in looking at those. Looks like there is no model number on the back. So we may have to look that up further. I did look on eBay, and these in good running condition can go from like $75 to $100. So they're nice watches. So let's go ahead and spin this back off, and let's see what we're dealing with inside here. And then I think we'll do a battery change, and then we'll get some specs on this, and maybe this one we'll go back to some macro shots on. I haven't been doing that lately. I think I'll do that on this one. Looks like we have a 364 battery, but I'm going to need my loop to verify that. Yeah, it looks like we got a 364 battery that we're going to need. So we're going to go ahead and get that out and replace it real quick, and we'll see if it's running. And as always, I put a link to these in the description if you need watch batteries. Check out the ones on Amazon. I buy these pretty much in bulk since I get so many watches in and I mess with them. But 364 battery. I'm just going to use my spring bar tool to try to pick that out. You can use a small screwdriver, whatever tool you have to get that out. So there, we got that one out. Now it looks like we do have a tiny bit of corrosion in there, so we'll have to see if this actually works. I'm going to just blow that out real quick. And we're going to try this new battery. There we go. So that one I had to push in that way to get it to work. Our gasket's still looking good. It's still right there in place, so we're just going to go ahead and do our method we always do with these screw down backs. Kind of spin it on, put pressure on both sides to make sure it gets started straight, and then we'll go ahead and we'll tighten that down with our spanner. But let's see if we've got movement. We do have movement. Alright, that's good. So let's do a quick time set on this and date. So it looks like our crown has two positions. So first position is probably the date. Yep. And let's say it's the 13th. So we're going to go to the 12th like we always do the day before. And we're going to say it's 7:30 a.m. So now we're on the 12th. So now we pull her out to the second position, which should be our time, and we start going forward. And we want to come around past midnight. That's midnight. We just changed to the 13th. So now we're on today. So 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 7:30. So there we go. Time set. Let's go ahead and get some specs on this one, because I think we got some scratches on that crystal. We're gonna polish. We're gonna clean. We're gonna do all that good stuff. Let's get case size. Approximate case size. We're about 38.5, 39, 38 3/4. Let's go lug to lug of what appears to be a lug to lug. We're looking about the same there, 39. Let's go case thickness. We're looking at about 11. Let's go bracelet width. We're looking at about 20. So there's the down and dirty specs on this one. It definitely it needs a clean and a polish, and I think this one will be good to go. We'll let it run for a few days, make sure it keeps decent time, then maybe we can list this for him, get this sold on consignment, and get this guy some money, because I appreciate him bringing these watches in for me to review on this channel. But yeah, this one looks great. It looks like we'll need to take our toothbrush and get rid of some dirt around the bezel, probably make that bezel spin a little bit better. And as always, every watch, it just gets dirt in the buckle here. Let's look at this buckle real quick. It's a nice locking clasp. I love those kind. They don't really give out, fall off very often when you have those. It's got the symbol here for the brand. Just a nice, beautiful watch. Oh, it's nice and heavy. Nice and heavy. You know by the girth of some of these watches, you know how durable they're going to be. Definitely, you know, many may consider this a fashion watch, but it's a pretty good watch. So there we go, guys. We're gonna let this run. I might come back here as a second part and just give it a quick cleaning, and we'll go over that. Okay, guys, just a quick clean. I'm not gonna make an entire video about cleaning, but I think if you've watched any of these videos before, you know how I do these. I get my toothbrush and a little soap and water. I used to use like Dawn dish soap. You know, you have to use Dawn dish soap. Not that they're a sponsor, but you know that's my wife's name, so you have to use that. So yeah, we just go in, we get it clean, try to get under that bezel a little bit without getting any water into the case, but there's just dirt and grime that builds up over the years of wearing these things. So I'm going to scrub this a while, and then we'll be back and maybe do a little polishing. Sorry, this always happens when I turn off the camera. I went ahead and had to take this apart due to I just couldn't get in here and clean this area into here and this area into here. But it looks fantastic now. But when I took the spring bar off, it was in here in this hole, and I just used my spring bar tool. I pressed it down, and I slowly started pulling out, and a piece of it, actually, the piece of the spring bar broke off and went flying. And so it's probably good we took it apart to know that was a problem. But let's just let's look at replacing that, because I have a bunch of spring bars, and you can see that this end there's no spring left. This end there's nothing. Oh, here, let me hold it down here where you guys can see it better. This end there's no spring left. There's still the little peg that holds it in place, but there's no spring inside and nothing on this end. So when I push it down, pulled it out, the end of this just phew, with the spring shot out, and I heard it click, 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 land, 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 but of course it's nowhere to be found now. So I've got another spring bar here. I have a ton of different spring bars. I put these, I buy these in bulk off of Amazon, so some of these don't fit. Like you've got to go around and find. This one's probably will take about a 20 millimeter spring bar, so I'm going to go through my stash, and this one's not even going to fit in. It's a little too big around, too wide. So let me go through my stash, find one about this length and a little skinnier, and we'll go. Alright guys, I think we found what we needed. This one's about the same length as this replacement first one I found, but it's skinnier in diameter. That's the original with the broken pieces in it. So we're going to go ahead and feed this in, feed this on this side, and try not to spring it into the air like I did previously on the old one. And I use my spring bar tool, make sure it's in there tight to give me a good base, and I push it down, and I try to keep my finger near it because it's going to want to go if it doesn't get into the right place. So you're going to probably miss a view on this, but I think you can get the idea of what I'm doing. Oh, you know what? Now that I look at that, I think that one's a little too long. I think I'm going to have to go back. Yep, I'm going to have to go back and find one just a tiny bit shorter than this. So let's get these two out of the way. Put this one here to compare. Okay guys, back to the drawing board. I think we found something that this one here is just a tiny bit shorter in length than the original replacement. So let's get that in there. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Good as new. Alright, so let's get to this crystal. Alright, we'll make sure we can latch and everything. And this is what I use, polishing compound. This is stuff when somebody sideswiped my car once. I used rubbing compound and polishing compound to get those scratches out. Wish I was doing YouTube back then, because that would have been a good video. But I take a little of that and I put it on my cloth, and I go in two directions. I go vertically, and then I go horizontally, I'll call it, and vertically. Keep doing that back and forth, and this is going to take a while. So I'm going to do this for a while, and then we'll come back and see if we have any improvement. Alright guys, we are back. We've been rubbing this for, I don't know, a few minutes. And it does look much better. You can see there's still pretty good scratch all the way down the length of the watch, but it did minimize it some, so I could probably keep polishing for a couple days just to get this one looking better. It did get rid of a lot of the, what I'd call the minor scratches. It looks pretty good actually, but I'll probably polish it some more. I went ahead and polished the bezel too to help that look a little bit better, a little shinier. I'm going to take some macro shots just so you guys can see those scratches a little bit better, and maybe a couple shots on the wrist, and I think we'll wrap this one up. Again, this is Wristwatch Wednesday. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.